This video is for business leaders who want to make better decisions and maximize their probability of success using a Nobel Prize winner's favorite decision-making technique. Don't worry, the technique is simple and anyone can do it. Have you ever heard the saying, hindsight is 20/20? Well, the truth is it's actually not true. And this Nobel Prize winner talks about that in one of his books. But we can use the idea of that to improve our decisions about the future anyway. So today, I'm going to use an example from my personal life. I didn't eat anything healthy, but I could have if I'd used what's called a pre-mortem. That's the technique we're going to talk about today, and you'll learn about it in this video. So even though I'm using it for that, I'm using a personal example. It can actually be used to make better decisions in any complex situation, not just simple ones like I've illustrated. So the Nobel Prize winning laureate, Daniel Kahneman, said that this technique, the pre-mortem and prospective hindsight, which is essentially the same thing in this case, that this is his favorite technique for making complex decisions. So watch to the end of this video for bonus material on tomorrow's post-mortem. That is my tomorrow. And sort of just as an example to illustrate how a post-mortem could work, because concrete examples are easier to follow. And a recommended video, which is a book review of Daniel Kahneman, Olivier, Sibony, and Sunstein's brilliant book, Noise, a Flaw in Human Judgment, which was the inspiration for this particular video and where I first learned of the pre-mortem and the prospective hindsight. So welcome to day 4 of Clone Week. It's about overcoming our evolutionary defaults to become more successful. Our evolutionary defaults are not working, especially in an age of abundance and safety that we now live. They are now working against us. So if you want to know more about that, check out day 1 to learn what clones are, that's an acronym, to learn what that is. And that episode is called Becoming Our Better Selves. So it's about, this whole week is about overcoming our evolutionary defaults in a positive way, because those defaults aren't typically positive if we engage in a default behavior of which we have complete control, or very close to complete control, over changing intentionally. So yesterday we talked about 2 things, basically: the next thing and Goldilocks goals. Today is about how to do a pre-mortem to get that prospective hindsight that I've already mentioned. So prospective hindsight is imagining a future event and its outcome as though it's already happened, then working backwards to find the likely cause of that result, of that sort of, as Kahneman calls it, psychological time travel or something like that, but a type of time travel. So it basically helps you make better decisions and to focus on what we can control rather than being distracted by what we can't when making decisions. So what this will do is it'll help you stay out of what I'm going to call the clone zone by creating more confidence to expand your comfort zone, or help you step out of that comfort zone. It also motivates us to act. It makes constructive use of our negativity bias, which we all have. That's the N in clone, by the way, and reduces fear because you've made a better decision through your pre-mortems. To do a pre-mortem, just imagine your desired outcome goal having already happened. And in this case, the first scenario, not only has this goal been achieved, but it was a spectacular, unmitigated success. So this is happy time, celebration time. Now walk back one actionable step at a time to the present moment, the moment in time from which you sort of left and time traveled into the future. So as you do this, note each step that was nearly or completely within your control and what action you took to reach that amazing outcome. Okay, so that's the first 50%. That's this side. Now we get to the other side. Now do the same process, but this time start at an outcome which was a titanic or apocalyptic disaster. Step backward in time through each of your process goals that led to the train wreck that was the end result in this imaginary time travel scenario. Again, what you want to do is you want to note each step that led to that outcome, to this outcome here, all the way back to the present moment. Now, essentially what you have is you have a checklist of do's and don'ts that are within your control, because that's the scenario we're talking about, right? You're looking to identify those steps of which you have control over, because that's all we can change. You got this list of do's and don'ts that are within your control, and what this will do is this will help you maximize your chances of producing the result you want. So this essentially keeps focus, in particular, on that which you can control. It also keeps you in a more logical headspace in what Daniel Kahneman would call system 2, or slow thinking, and less in the emotional headspace, or into the emotional system of our brains, system 1, and when it comes to making decisions and taking action on your process goals. And that can lead to the outcomes you want and away from the ones you don't, because of you've done this pre-mortem of both situations here. So thank you for watching this. That is the standard content, and now we're on to the bonus content. So here's my tomorrow's pre-mortem. So tomorrow here is Sunday. It's not a big heavy day, but I do have some stuff I want to get done. So I'll essentially keep this really concrete for today's pre-mortem or tomorrow's pre-mortem. And my ideal outcome for tomorrow is this: having done some basic things around the house, cleaning the dishes, having baked a healthy quick bread to make tomorrow's eating, or particularly Monday's eating, healthier than today's, which was basically store-bought junk food. Going to buy some fruit to basically give me the raw material to make a week's worth of healthy breakfasts. I make it every morning, but I need that fruit to really make that breakfast, which is tasty and healthy. Also being well prepared for work tomorrow. I have some teaching to do tomorrow. I'm teaching kids tomorrow, and some well-deserved relaxation time. So that's what my ideal, my happy, blissful, idyllic kind of outcome is. And then the worst outcome, the apocalypse outcome, is to accomplish nothing, to eat junk food all day, and to feel stressed and unprepared for work tomorrow. So this is obviously a pretty light day. This is more or less a holiday, but I'm still making this video. So, you know, and tomorrow I will make a video also. So that is still going to be included, but that's pretty much automatic after, what is it, day 264. So shortcutting to the to-dos, not going through the actual process, because I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long. Here's what I've come up with based on all those pieces of criteria, those 2 time travels I did. I'll start with working out in the park in the morning. Then I'll follow that with a healthy breakfast. I'll wash the dishes. I'll cycle to Costco, which is 2 stations away, so it's about a 20-minute bike ride away. Grab some nice frozen fruit that's yummy for my healthy breakfasts. Then prepare my curriculum for Monday's lessons. Make some type of healthy quick bread, either before or after that. Doing that, I will go power kiting at Muko River in the late afternoon or early evening. when it's cool but comfortable. The weather's beautiful here now. The summer heat is finally gone. And enjoy my power kiting at Muko River. Then what I'll do is I'll write and do my Sunday Crush It Club video. Then, depending on what the time is by then, relax or go to bed. Seems simple, but remember, by doing this, I've essentially said, here's the things I want to avoid doing. Now, here's the steps I can do to make what I want to happen. And as you might notice, all of these steps are actions, concrete, specific, immediate actions I can take. They're not vague and they're not reliant on outcomes. They're reliant on me taking action of things that I can control. So that's it for this episode. You can essentially do the same of this for a period of time, a day, like I just gave an example of, a specific goal, a problem, or a solution of any scale or scope. This is used in executive boardrooms. The whole idea of the pre-mortem and the prospective hindsight was actually created by one or several academic professors, one whom is a Wharton professor, the other one I can't recall whether they were a Wharton professor or not. It could be even the same professor, but this has a lot of academic rigor and credibility behind it. And as I already said, the Nobel Laureate, who says this is his favorite, is Daniel Kahneman, a world authority and Nobel Prize winner on decision-making. Kind of knows his stuff when it comes to this decision-making and things like that. So these are things that are super valuable that you can use for yourself. If you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out in the comments or connect with me directly via my YouTube channel or any other means that you know of. But in particular, the YouTube channel, the email address is there. So my recommended video for today is Book Review for Noise by Daniel Kahneman, Olivier, Sibony, and Sunstein. And the book is actually called Noise, A Flaw in Human Judgment. I would highly recommend it. But the video is my somewhat in-depth book review, part 1 of 2, I believe, on this book. It was that good and that worthy, brilliant book. You should absolutely read it. And that's what inspired and gave me the insight for this episode. So please share this video with anyone who needs to make better decisions, especially if they're complex and have many variables. This psychological time travel, doing your pre-mortem and gaining that prospective hindsight, is a brilliant and effective way to make better decisions that will feel like hindsight. We are, according to Kahneman again, we find it very easy to, after the fact, build a narrative which sort of draws lines of causation. Even though it's oftentimes not true, we can still use that same sort of illusory bias of being able to explain past events by using this technique to supercharge our current decision-making by imagining it's one of these after-the-fact events, which we now confidently form a causal narrative of. That's it for Crush It Club 264, and I have to roll up because I didn't put the name at the bottom. Let's see here. Decision-making process of a Nobel laureate. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.